So because my mother is here, I need to tell her that you were right. When you bite your tongue hard enough, tears have no other choice but to fall backwards. Drip down your throat, tie up your vocal cords until you feel yourself bit by bit by bit. Because bottling up rage is way better than constantly wondering what the upstairs neighbors will think of the fuck-up daughter. Bite your tongue. You're so young to speak that way. It's such a shame for your family to see the bad apple carve out the molding country. But I still don't know how to count 3 leaves falling. See, I get stuck somewhere in between branching out and rooting myself deep into family sayings. Mushka. I get stuck somewhere in between branching out and rooting myself deep into family sayings. Mushka limba. When he asks me, where's your accent from? I want to tell him it was a buy one, get one free kind of deal. Sort of came with the body, but lately, even my body is more like the body to a feeling I used to be in love with. And my words are shedding. So instead, I bite my tongue so fucking hard, I split it in half. Una e română, înfuriată, nu înțelege de ce ai spune așa ceva. Futu-ți morții tăi cu toate întrebările tale cu tot. And the other one is calm, soft, drinks tea, and has the personality of a TOEFL exam, still scraping knees to learn all the new things not to say, to learn how to fall inwards, dub over emotions, and swallow pills with a bit of pride when they say, you know, I also took 2 years of French in high school, but it wasn't of much use because who doesn't speak English? I don't know, to be fair. But I'd invite you to find out. Take upon my offer, bite my tongue. I swear, it's only a bit for the kink to see you glaze your canine teeth over words I can't really translate, but I'm sure you're gonna do a much better job. You're gonna negotiate their weight and peel them right off my bleeding lips in a healing kind of manner. Ești atât de arogant, cel mai ignorant om pe care l-am cunoscut vreodată. Why would you ever think everything needs to be catered to your understanding? Why would you ever think your words have a greater meaning when you raised them to be false friends? See, English betrays me, stabs me over and over again to carve me whole, and there's cuts and bruises inside. They're all pounding at my throat's door, and I don't know how much longer I can lick my wounds without leaving a stain. So, you know, mușcă-ți limba, or whatever the fuck you guys say. Oh. Thank you. So, I'm Thea. This is my set. I hope you like it. And while we're on the subject of like Romanian sayings and stuff like that, I really want to tell you about this very beautiful one I was baptized into reality with whenever I accidentally did something right. Hai că nu ești prost degeaba, which basically translates to, come on, you're not uselessly stupid. And I genuinely believe there's something heartfelt about it. The gentle acknowledgement that at least you have a purpose, like banana slicers or pet rocks. We're not quite sure why you were invented, but we're not exactly complaining. See, most of us are heirs of rum-infused consequences anyway, which makes failure even more like coming home. I have the same skill set as a stormtrooper post-Clone Wars. So many targets, so little aim. And I know, because Duolingo alerts me 2 times a day success is a highway, and I'm missing tires, zapped into place by heavily powered wires connected to heart's desires and financial fantasies I systematically suppress under the stress of edging success. Because in success, it doesn't just bother you. It waits patiently outside the door, ready to jump at the opportunity to pin you to the floor. In success isn't the one to fool around with. It gets you high on your dreams and then snaps you back to reality with a flick of a hand. Have you ever had a failure break your back? Because, damn, after a wild night out painting the town with a cocktail of existential crisis and abuse. It's not, right, guys, it's really not like the other issues. Auzi, dar tu chiar așa nimic? Nu poți să faci bine. My therapist would straight look me in the eye and say, you know, it takes a lot of talent to try so hard and still fail. So technically, you're good at something. Thanks. Technically, I can tie a stem only using my tongue. In a Pretty Please, I'm the cherry on top. I have a way with words, cards, and convincing you all dumb mistakes were your idea. No, really, why am I up here? I'm not saying this was a dumb mistake, but I am saying that in most application forms, I fill in almost 20, filled up to the brim. But she's so absent-minded, straw-hearted, and occasionally indulges in whining. And I wish I could hold my liquor more. But it's hard when you're squeezing hopes. Both hands fumbling mistakes, and I either drop those or my standards, and I'm fragile. Not suitable to be a prop. When I break, my shards cut deep. It's hard to hold me. And success has sharpened the edges, and this puzzle no longer has a reference. I can't see the bigger picture anymore. Someone spilled their glass of wine on it, soaked up jokes in tears and frustration of a gifted kid, and I wish I just had more time to work on it all. Because my Waldo-like purpose hasn't been drawn yet. And I'm scared I might be uselessly smart. I might never have my shit figured out. And I might just end up on In Success's freebie list, though it already feels more and more and more like a relationship. I have a bad feeling about this. But maybe I should just give in to it. Thank you. I have complicated relationships, not only with people, but also like concepts and like situations and cities most of the time. So this is gonna be about my situationship with London as a city. Yeah. Yeah. I know, and just let's get this straight. London is a dude because a woman would never like behave like this with anyone, ever.
No, that's fair to say, you know. That's fair.
I know. So this one's called At Least Make Me Pancakes. So today I woke up with two things in mind. First, I'm craving pancakes. And second, if I were to fuck any part of the UK, it would definitely be London, because my friends always tell me to never drink and write, but I'm the type of poet who always sees the signs, like the 18th century imperialistic jawline, the rivers down your spine, and devotion to always leave me feeling weak. Make sure I know you're so out of my league, which is problematic, actually. So I much rather see you drenched in rain making your way up to my apartment while I'm making pancakes, flipping them, using my bare skin. If you're scared of fire, you let the devil in. That's the saying I grew up with. And nerve desensitization is quite common in my part of the world. We practice not feeling stuff as a national sport. No, really. Work for me the way I work my soul, and London, I'll let you pound me to the wall. I don't usually spare change on a guy who puts their faith in a tenor. So at least show me you're clever before getting into other endeavors. Because according to your love letter, you're supportive of my dreams only if I study, don't end them professionally. Only if I keep spicing up positions of my overly controlled novelty while you keep flipping the script wearing fucking gloves, because what if she's just like the others? I am just like the others. I hate your morning breath, the Thursday drink, and cloudy disposition. Maybe by my own admission, your cracks are filled with ambition and spice. But when I cry, you give me lots of tea and proceed to call me darling. So as long as we're confessing, London, when I actually want to feel something, I shut my eyes, think of home, draw you close, put my hand on the stove and say love, so it feels more like the Ubesque. Your tongue bends necks, but mine does brake checks. Opens up chests and crawls inside to scratch my name, London. It would be such a shame not to have me, because boy, do you have a history with calling an international yours, and it is basically the best of both worlds. English in the streets, Romanian in the sheets. I sign, I flick, I lick, I tick. London, as long as we don't question what this is and you keep off your extreme tendencies, you've got yourself a good fucking deal, because you're right. I am a sucker for pancakes, tea, and the full degree. So maybe, just maybe, you're gonna be the one who saves me, because after all, I'm just an international looking for a reasonably priced home in the heart of the greatest city in the world. Fuck no, that's New York, but still. Pancakes at yours, or how is this? That's it. The evil twin sister of this poem is still about me going from place to place, from Romania to UK and back and forth. But this one's called Before I Leave. Before I leave, I write one last poem in English, this one. In a tab next to my flight check-in, I check out of myself. Before I leave, I shed my skin, hang it up next to dresses no one helped me choose, and put on my 14-year-old self so parents recognize me at the airport. Auziți? Vin eu în față sau mă așteptați voi la plecări? Before I leave, I wash all my clothes and let them dry in my absence, breaking the cast from around my waist, molded by fingertips, size and grips of I want to see you once more. Before I leave, I water the orchid, Tabita. I count all the buds and keep a log of how many bloomed and died without me, because to be fair, I haven't been very good at watching my dad's hair wither gray. Dar știu că anotimpurile se măsoară între ce spui și ce vrei să spui, între ce faci și bine. Când rădăcinile ni se opresc în jurul încheieturilor și răspunsurile desprinse din ramuri ne ating, before I leave, I surrender myself one last time to bed sheets soaked up in tears. Collapsed forts padded with pillows, missing some sort of nameless figure, and memory foams from underneath my skin. Before I leave, I write one last poem in English that keeps repeating itself. Că istoria se repetă pentru proști și ochi închiși. But in English, I'm wide awake. I just haven't quite properly figured out how to breathe yet. Că în română mi-a luat atâta să învăț că poezia se depune în plămâni. Și limba mea rulează cuvinte pe care nu le pot fuma pasiv. Before I leave, I make a list, so I never forget that no matter where I am or where I'm flying, everything I do is stuck in a before I leave. Înainte să plec, I draw the curtains, change the laptop charger, fold my towels, turn off the light, închid geamurile, spăl vasele, I call my parents, dau cu mătura, dau pozele jos, only to put them back up. I make origami și după le fac bucăți, le sfâșii și le arunc la gunoi, îi fac fundă, take it out, I take me out, I take myself out, I take myself out, I take myself out, I take myself out, because to be fair, I think I take myself out. So when I return, everything is exactly the same. Only my 14-year-old self, slightly more grown up, ready to break in future's hand-me-downs. But you need to understand, kid, it's all before I leave. Thank you. So this is my last one, and I really wanted to leave you with this. It's called Flowers, and it means a lot to me. In 2022, an Ukrainian woman gave Russian soldiers a handful of seeds to put in their pockets, saying, "At least sunflowers will grow where you fall." In 1967, carnations down gun barrels marched against the US invasion of Vietnam. And in 1974, Lisbon, a flower revolution overthrew the dictatorial new state. Last week, I saw a guy tossing out a bouquet down a trash can because she canceled, and he wasn't going to walk around the neighborhood holding girly flowers. From not so far away, he still looked like the type of guy who'd ask, well, why isn't he wearing a suit? Who'd roll his eyes at people talking about the news and request women to smile more but never show their teeth. We lack that all days order, he'd say, grinning. So basically, the type of dude who'd remind us that if looks can kill, words can bring up dead. But as flowers got smashed against the bin in a street full of people, nobody even blinked. Nobody opened their mouth. And they say the tongue is the strongest muscle, but that's a fucking lie. It's actually the masseter, the one that helps you chew up words trapped between your teeth. It runs from the temporal bone to the lower jaw, from past to present. See, memories hold up your strength to bite from each sentence, so show your teeth. Because God smiled upon you today and yet remained unfazed by a game of tossing lives aside. Die, not die, die, not die, die, not die. When someone points a rifle, the carbon ignites under 2 milliseconds. Which is to say that between every 2 of your heartbeats lay 500 story endings that won't even get buried. See, flowers absorb carbon and build essential compounds, but what we keep forgetting is that we're not fucking plants. We don't need blood-infused soil to grow, and how much guerrilla gardening actually evens out the graveyards that systematically appear. They say hope germinates under favorable circumstances. But if flowers can part concrete and people rise from underneath rubbles, it's your duty to root yourself deep into humanity and use your strongest muscle to sprout a fucking revolution. They say hope germinates under favorable circumstances. But if flowers can part concrete and people rise from underneath rubbles, it's your duty to root yourself deep into humanity and use your strongest muscle to sprout a fucking revolution. Every day, remember, no matter what type of dirtbag you are, you still have the privilege to grow flowers with a fighting chance. So hum some music to yourself. Water down that ego and open up a fucking window, shout at the dickhead smashing flowers against the bin, and hold on tightly to that carnation between your teeth. It's the only one you'll fucking get. Thank you.